All right, let me put this over here. Make sure everything's good. Yep, everything's good. How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Looks like a lot of tensions rising up. I was watching the Almighty Lolly stream yesterday, and a lot of people are like, "Oh no, racial tensions, racial tensions, racial tensions." And to be honest, I'm gonna side with Lolly on this one. A lot of people are thinking this is going the whole thing with what that bitch's name? Hold on. Hold on. What's that woman's name? It sounds foreign as fuck. Hold on. Shiloh? I'm gonna call her Shiloh. Shiloh Hendrix, because I honestly think she's a shield. Well, not really a shield, but more like a grifter. Because I think that GoFundMe is constantly updating the funding. Hold on, let me actually check that. Shiloh Hendrix GoFundMe. Shiloh Hendrix. Give, send, go. Okay, I clearly typed. Okay, I hate this fucking browser. Type a whole fucking thing and it'll take part of what the fuck you say, put it in search bar. Hendrix. Gifts and go. She claims it's been leaked, but it's never been proven. Has it been taken down? Because I can't find it. Hold on. How do you search for it? Chris, testimonials, prayer wall, pricing fees, actions, the Gibson co-founder defended hosting the campaign, stating the platform does not pick sides and that they verified legitimacy of the Hendrix campaign. As of the latest updates, Hendrix has not yet received any money from the campaign. But where is it? I can't find it. Yeah, I was like, that's not even there. That one got taken down off of that got taken down off of GoFundMe. I'm trying to find her fucking. What's going on? What's up, Jzilla? Apparently there is a, because I heard something about it, but I was like, it kind of like crossed my mind, and I really didn't go into it. But now it's like, now a lot of people are like really, really storing this like story up because I heard this about what last week or so, and not a lot of people are talking about it. Now all of a sudden, a lot of people are talking. So apparently, there is a video of a white woman with a very small baby toddler who looks like they should not, under no circumstances, be by themselves. Some child allegedly stole snacks from the child, and the woman called the child a nigger. Then some guy who is Somalian, I'm not entirely sure, but he's a brown complexion, uh, pulled out his cell phone and started to shame and accuse the woman for calling a child a nigger. At first, she was being very defensive about it and saying like, "Oh, I didn't say anything about that," or she was trying to play off like she never said it. And sooner or later, she's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw out in the world. She's just like, yeah, nigger, I'm gonna call the child a nigger because if it's gonna act like a nigger, I'm gonna call him a nigger. And allegedly, the person who was filming, I'm not entirely sure, but apparently, allegedly, the person with the cell phone that was like saying it over and over and over, it's like are you calling a child a nigger? Apparently, he was a pedophile. And I'm like, I find this kind of weird that more people are centered on the idea of her saying the word nigger versus the fact that there was a pedophile in the park with a cell phone. No one cares about that. Right now, the donation is up to like $700,000. And this is why I say the collective and the people who are giving this woman money, they are pedophiles or they condone pedophilia. And I have my reasons as to why. They may not be openly saying it, but when you look at the comment section in some of these videos where people are like condemning both sides on this like thing, on this situation, a lot of people are saying we are tired of the left allowing minorities to get away with what they want. Now, the problem here is you have to understand that the structure that the left has created is essentially white supremacy on its head. Almost every person on the left who is a socialist, communist, or a Marxist has stated that the whole goal of getting black people into a world of equality where they were actually, prioritized is to take the system of white supremacy and flipping it on its head. Because then every time when black people are benefiting from the system and then white people are complaining, the first thing that comes out their mouth is, "Oh, see, all the white people are angry because we're benefiting." So it's fair for me to say that these people are adopted. They're going the route of Hitler. They're going the route of Hitler, where they're tired of being surrounded by people who hate their country and want to be funded by the country that they hate. And the only way for them to fight the thing that they hate so much is to adopt the same principles and tactics of the thing that they claim they hate. They don't hate it. They just want the power that they see the power that minorities are getting from this and they want to appropriate it for themselves. The problem is that that also comes with the Marxist philosophy. They can sit here and say how much they hate Karl Marx all they want. The more they keep gravitating and appropriating Karl Marx Marcusian tactics and socialist tactics, the more closer they get to justifying pedophilia, because a justification for pedophilia is already there. Their race is dying. Their race is dying. So if all the men have this idea in their head that their race is dying, and a lot of people on this side are always in the manosphere where they're always constantly consuming videos of white women being whores or sprouting feminist, fourth wave, third wave feminist bullshit. They don't want that. So then where else are they going to get the women? Because I'm pretty sure the men outpopulate the women. Well, then where are they going to get it? Where are they going to populate their race? So then there's an incentive to literally lower the age of consent. So they must lower the age of consent in order for them to save the white race. Yeah, you think you heard about this story? Yeah. I would play it, but YouTube can be all a little fucking bitchy about certain things. And I'm combating with people in the comment section of Sean's video, right? And funny enough, and this is why I say these people are adopting Karl Marcusian logics and tactics. As much as they say they hate speech laws, not too long ago, as I was loading up the stream, I just received the notification that one of my comments was hate speech. And I'm not using any racial slurs or anything. Because I know in the comment section, YouTube can be very picky about that. So I'm not using any racial slurs in the comment section. And yet somehow one of my comments got taken down for hate speech. I don't know which one, but I did get a notification saying that it did take down one of my comments from this video. So yeah. So right now, as you see, Sean's video, Actual Justice Warrior, is getting. He still has the majority like. There's a lot of white nationalists coming in to dislike bomb the damn thing. And yes, you are a white nationalist if you are dislike bombing the damn thing. And I'm going to explain why. I mean, I've already explained it anyways. Because again, you guys are appropriating the very system that you say you're tired of. So it is quite fair to say that these people are white supremacists. The people who are disliking Sean's video are white supremacists. They are in the comment section saying time and time again that they are tired of losing. And that the only way, even Aristocratic Utensil and Nick Fuentes have been saying They've been saying the same Vosh method. Dying on principle, losing on principle is stupid. You must do everything and anything to win. So if appropriating white supremacy on its head is the only way to win, then appropriating white supremacy on its head is the only way to win. Even if it means you are a white supremacist, it's the only way to quote unquote end it. It doesn't end it, it perpetuates it. And I think these people know, they just don't give two shits in a solid fuck, because again, a lot of these people are in their own closed little bubbles. Because I think I commented on this one. Yeah, like this comment right here. This comment says, a swing and a miss. She isn't getting money for calling a kid a name. She is getting paid to counter cancel culture and fatigue in dealing with these people. And you know what he means by that, because look at his profile picture. It's a profile picture of a monkey. Sean apparently has no kids, or maybe he'd first be asking, where was the parent doing nothing as their kid rifled through a stranger's things? Here's a real question that he's not answering. How did a kid sneak up on a toddler? Let me show you how small this kid is. You call him a child? Look how small this kid is. You don't leave a child like that by themselves. A child like that, you are with them the entire time. This ain't the thing where you're like, go play on the swings, honey. I'll be over here on my cell phone, you know. That is a child that you have to be around the entire time when you're at a park. How did the child, I don't care what age it is. Some people are saying it's a 5-year-old. Some people on the right are saying it's a 12-year-old. And I'm going to show you why there are people justifying pedophilia in a minute. How did a child sneak up on this kid to take his snacks? Because she's not paying attention. But they don't want to mention that. They don't want to say anything about that. Because right now it's my politics. It's my team. So I have to bat for the collective. Everyone has a breaking point in dealing with black people. You know who doesn't have to deal with them? People who live in rural Utah, which she's saying white people. White people don't have to deal with black people. Which is, no, that's not really the case. But I said that's a circular argument. She's getting the money for calling a kid a slur. What is the requirement for going against cancel culture? No longer censoring yourself out of respect. So you must call the kid a slur in order to go against cancel culture. And then you got people in the comment section literally justifying it, saying, well, I think you can give money due to the effect and not the cause. No. That comes with it. As a collective, that comes with it. You can't separate that. As a collective, that comes with it. If it was her own money, that's something understandable. Then you can actually say that. But as a collective, you cannot separate that. Everything, in terms of Karl Marx logic, a transaction of money means everything you believe, everything that one person in that group believe, you all fucking believe. And then I also had some other comments that one motherfucker had the audacity to compare this to Kyle Rittenhouse. Actually, hold on, let me play the video so you actually understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Pay attention. Now ask yourself this question. Is this woman in any immediate threat in the scenario that she's in right now?
Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. So this is a viral.
That's pretty much all it was. That's pretty much all it was. And somehow that is the equivalent of Kyle Rittenhouse. A young boy of the age of 17 or something like that? Protecting his home from rioters. Who has armed himself just in case someone wants to use some type of deadly force against them. To the point to where the rioters wanted to steal the gun away from him. By any means necessary. Which means that he was an imminent threat. He was an immediate danger. So he had to flee from the scene. And as he's fleeing from the scene, he's constantly being attacked. Grotzkreutz tried to grab the rifle, failed, got shot. Another guy, I forgot the other guy's name, came in, him in the back of the head with a skateboard, tried to go for the gun, failed for the gun. Cal retaliated in self-defense. Another guy ran up on him. This is the guy that got his bicep blown off and he testified in court. Got it pulled up on him, had his gun out, pointed it up in the air to make it look like he was giving up, and then tried to go back to aiming his gun back at Cal. Cal noticed it, shot, and blew his bicep off. Somehow, 10 seconds of a woman saying a racial slur is the equivalent of Kyle Rittenhouse.
It is my own business. You call him.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not defending if the guy who's filming this altercation is an actual convicted pedophile, or even if he's not convicted, I'm not defending him. Right? I'm not defending him. The problem that I have with this whole situation is we have reportedly $700,000 donated to a woman for saying a word from a group of collectivists who have been pushing the narrative of meritocracy and is giving a large lump sum of money to a woman, which last I checked goes against their fucking ideas. Is not doing any form of merit. She's just saying the word. This goes against every self-defense donation that you have ever donated to for the past fucking 10 years, where the person was clearly acting in self-defense and they were acting within the realms of the law. This goes against everything. And these people are equating it to Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, hold on, let me find the comment. No, this is motherfucker right here. No, she didn't commit a crime. That's not going to stop her from being prosecuted any more than it did, Kyle Rittenhouse, who also didn't commit a crime. That's a false equivalence. Because the thing that they're not taking into account of is verbal abuse can be considered assault. It can. Because remember, you're talking about a demographic of people. Like, I don't give a fuck about the word nigger. I don't give two shits and a solid fuck. But you're talking about a demographic of people who have been brainwashed and conditioned to respond to the word in a very, very, very victimized manner. So you cannot say that to them. Because if you say that to them, they take that as a threat. It's an immediate threat. So when you say that to them saying the word nigger is an immediate threat. So you can't say it. So it is by law. And if you actually watch James Lindsay's video on Agitprop, which is basically two words combined together. I forgot the guy who pushes it, but like Karl Marx and all the fucking socialists push this shit. And they're pushing the same thing. Like the whole thing was Shiloh Hendrix is an agitprop. An agitprop is agitation combined with propaganda. It's to agitate the masses that you need to do something and you need to do it now. Because for some reason, because it has to be an agitprop. Because why is it Kyle Rittenhouse doesn't incentivize these people to defend themselves, but this bitch does? And I'm calling her a bitch, not only just because she's using a racial slur, right? I'm not just calling her a bitch because she's using a racial slur. Especially particularly towards a child. You cross the Rubicon, because at that point, because I also got to find the other comment. You've already crossed the Rubicon. I'm also calling her a bitch because how the fuck do you leave a toddler like that in a park full of other children and think nobody is going to walk up on your child and just take shit? Like, children do that shit. You can tell the child, hey, don't do this, right? But they're going to do it. Why? Because they're children. Again, children are rebellious. Okay, so now let me find that comment. If I can't find it here, I have it screenshot on my phone. And the fucked up part is people are like, no, no. You probably deleted it. Hold on. Did I get a response on that? I don't think I got a response. Okay, now we're back at the top. Hold on. Go to new comments first. Scroll all the way down. Well, I may not be able to find it. I probably should have took a screenshot on my computer, but I have it on my phone. Yeah, that comment is like buried the fuck out. Let's see. No, 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 no. I don't think it's gonna be under new comment. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to see. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, let me find that user. OUX. So then let's go down to top comments. No response. Okay, so let's keep navigating. No hit. Oh wait, shit. The wrong character. No hit. No hit. He probably deleted it. Because a lot of people in that thread was calling him a pedophile. Because it really did come off very pedophilic. And he was getting likes. Oh, here it is. Yep, there it is. The child was 12, hardly a child. I'm like, no, that's still a child. And then there's people in here saying 12 is still very much a child. You sound like a pedophile when you say that. Like, people are literally calling him the fuck out like a pedophile. So then, if these people are appropriating white supremacy, right? And you keep calling them pedophiles, are they gonna keep saying, no, no, you can't call us a pedophile because we're not pedophile. We don't like pedophile. We don't like pedophilia. But actually, since the white race is dying and everything, little Susie's looking kind of thick right now. So maybe we have to get rid of the age of consent because white people are dying. which, by the way, I kind of did like some mathematical statistics. I haven't looked at the death rate so far, but like white people are doing pretty much okay. Just saying. Let's see. It's like you can have children, you just don't want to go through the struggles of actually bringing a child into this world. It is indeed shrinking, according to recent census data. However, the decline is partly due more to people identifying as multiracial rather than a decrease in the number of people with white ancestry. In 2020, the Census Bureau reported that the white population didn't shrink to 57.8% unless you apply the old one drop rule, which considers anyone with any non white ancestry as fully white. Additionally, many Hispanic individuals who identify as ethnically Hispanic also identify as racially white, but are excluded from the white population statistic. The thread of a declining white majority is also observed in other Western countries like Canada and the UK and New Zealand. So it's not dying out. Because let's be honest, if it was dying out, you think a lot of these motherfuckers would actually be having children? No, they're not having children. Why? Because they're out here watching manosphere bullshit, whore being a whore, Andrew Tate, how to be a man, but you don't know how to really be a man because Andrew Tate's not really a man. He's a pimp who also fronts as a female that knows how to get boys turned on, which also means he's a pedophile as well. Because I'm pretty damn well sure a good portion of his demographic are minors. Yeah. Especially considering the people that he pulls into his cam business are also minors as well. So, yeah. 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 So we're going to watch this video because, like I said, these motherfuckers are justifying pedophilia. Like any motherfucker that's going around saying black fatigue, they are clearly part of the white collective.
So this
oh yeah, because I also got I did a post yesterday about my discussion on Twitter with a white nationalist yesterday. And I told him, like, instead of doing this thing where you're like, you want to aim at the people that you think you know for a fact you can take, how about you take on the people you know for a fact caused all this? And that's the government. And he's like, well, we don't have the logistics. We don't have the logistics. And because we don't have the logistics, we can't do it. But white people are the best at logistics. I'm like, but where are you getting this from? I'm like, to be honest, Asians are better at that. But beside the point, if you're so good at logistics, you should honestly know you can take on the government. It's not that fucking hard. You just ain't got no fucking balls. And he was doing like he was saying like a lot of, he got tired of like black people, but he's also tired of Marxism. I'm like, no, you're not tired of Marxism because you're appropriating the very thing you say you're tired of. So you're not tired of it. You just want the power. I'm like, yeah.
This is a viral video that many of you have already seen, and by the way, it will be linked without my redactions of certain language in the description of my video under where it says sources.
And if you want to watch that video, you can find it down here in this video under Actual Justice Warrior channel. Let's see. Did he put it here? You know, some people they say they do, and then they literally don't. Instagram, Twitch, second channel, Teespring, news store, support panel, this guy, Twitter. It's probably on his Twitter. No, here it is, sources. Original video on X. Yeah, I'm not gonna play it because well, obvious. Because I think I think YouTube doesn't have a problem with me saying it in a very it's not directed towards anybody, and I'm mostly referring to myself. So, I'm following the whole same rules as like Technicals is doing. But in terms of this, I think YouTube would actually like take this video down because I played that video, so I'm not gonna play that.
Of Shiloh
So if
Hendrix,
you
a
want to see it,
Rochester,
go there.
Minnesota woman getting into an argument with a Somali man who has an interesting criminal history over the issue of whether or not she referred to a black boy at the playground as the N-word. Now, throughout the course of the viral video,
And we're not talking about nigga. We're talking about nigger. And a lot of people in the comment section are using false equivalences. They're saying that because he's so used to saying it, they probably say it to each other at the house. No, they don't. The only time people in the black community call each other a nigger, it's because the person is not doing what they need to be doing politically. Such as if you're not a Marxist, you're a pet nigger. So far, I have not seen conservatives who are black going around saying this, but predominantly it has been Marxists, socialists, communist blacks who will go around calling other black people for being niggers or pet niggers simply because they are not following the status quo of the Marxist revolution.
Shiloh essentially owns up to the fact that she did say that, and her reasoning, her rationale for it, is that alleged black boy ended up going into her bag and took a toy that was meant for her child, and
then how the fuck did the kid... How's the kid sneaking up on you? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
therefore, since
you should have your purse
steal,
on you, not beside you.
Racial epithets at him. Now, of course, like we've seen with a bunch of different viral Karen hoaxes, which is distinct from this situation right here, people have decided to target this woman in an attempt to ruin her life. They publish her name, her address, all these other personal details. There have been reports of people following her home, and I'm not sure if this particular Somali guy ended up following her home, all because she said this no word at the park. And in response to all this, she decided to start a Give Send Go, or somebody decided to start a Give Send Go, which is now nearly at $600,000. $600,000 for a woman who admittedly used a racial epithet against a child at a park based on a situation that is not good, but still, and that seems to be ridiculous to me. Now, we're going to talk.
Now, it's a baby toy. So, the baby toy... Actually, no, if you really think about it, she valued calling the kid that racial slur more than the toy. So the toy had more value. This is why she used the slur than the child. And I feel like a lot of these people, again, these are the collectivists, the people that's hitting that dislike button. 627 currently at this point. These are the Nick Fuentes. These are the aristocratic utensils. These are the just pearly things. These are the Myron Gaines. These are the Sneekos. These are the Andrew Tates. These are the Dr. Disrespect. I'll even throw that motherfucker in there. These are the exact same fucking people.
Talk about this, we're going to break this down, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticwarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay. I love that. I love that.
Okay. All right, that's what you say. You don't go digging through people's shit. Nobody digging through your shit. A little kid just did, you dumbass. That little kid, you call him a nigger? Yeah. The little child? What if he acts like one? He's gonna. Are you about to hit him?
Okay, to be fair, nigger doesn't mean thief. Nigger means idiot, stupid ass motherfucker. So, yeah, this is a racial epithet. If he was being a dumbass, I'd be like, okay, yeah, he's being a dumbass. But let's be honest. A white guy was stealing something, she would not be calling him a white nigger.
You chasing here? He took my son's stuff. So that gives you the right to call a child, 5-year-old, the N-word. If that's what he's gonna ask.
And he does not look 5 years old. He looks like he's in his. He looks like he's right before 13. So probably like 9. Probably like 9 to 12. He's probably in that ballpark. Like that's not a 5-year-old. That's not a 5-year-old. And again, you have people in the comment section saying that's not a child anymore. So and he's getting likes for that too. So yeah. Wouldn't be surprised that there's a good number of pedophiles within that donation collective.
That's what you're gonna call him. That's what he's gonna act like.
So look,
Just think about it. It'll be a pretty good defense, you know? Going around having sex with little girls and little boys and going, oh, well, the reason why I'm doing this is because my race is dying. And then how do you think he's going to garner support? He's going to start saying nigger, 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 nigger. And then people will film him. And then they'll say, we need to do something about it. And then he'll put up a GoFundMe page saying, hey, I'm being doxxed. I am being attacked. Give me money. And then people will use this, right, as a similar effect. Like, oh, if he went through the same thing as this girl did, so therefore we have to give this person money. The guy's into fucking children. But don't worry, he's doing it for the white race, so that's a benefit.
Into the serious implications of this particular video and the reaction to said video, I do want to point out that it is funny that this guy says that's a hate speech. Like, you're not allowed to say that.
You know,
while literally saying the word that he's saying. Again, this is why hate speech laws are stupid. But the people hitting this dislike button, they know it's stupid, but they understand that it gives you power. And that's the thing they like. Because remember, like I said not too long ago, they literally took down one of my comments for hate speech. And this is the only video I comment on today. So, yeah.
That's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
When in reality, this is the United States of America, and yes, you are allowed to hurl racial epithets at people. That is protected speech. In fact, hate speech is
that's kind of murky.
Not a real thing at all whatsoever in the United States of America, because it is obviously a weapon used to repress people, used to censor speech, and we see the implications.
Now, if she was in the UK, she'd definitely get locked up.
Of that being implemented in nations across Europe, and of course in additional nations around the world. So yeah, we can all laugh at this guy saying that's a hate speech, when in reality that's completely meaningless. But obviously, just because something is protected speech by law, that doesn't mean that people aren't going to be upset about it. That doesn't mean that people aren't going to be hurt about it. But the thing is, like we see, people on the internet.com tend to take this
because again, people, I would say a good demographic of people have been brainwashed to be so sensitive to the word that they respond in a very negative light. Like, for instance, the last job I worked at, like, we were pretty cool with like saying that word. Like, we were saying it at work, like the full hard R. Like, we were saying nigger, 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 and all this other stuff. Like, you know, talking about all these, you know, like Black Lives Matter and NAACP being a bunch of house niggers and a whole bunch of other shit. And I was expecting my floor lead, who was effectively actually a house nigger, to really pop off, but she didn't pop off as much as I thought she would. And you know what my job was willing to do after I kept telling her to like give me some space and she wouldn't like back off? They were willing to give me one extra day off just to like cool off and then come back the next week. It was a really cool job. I just could not tolerate working under her because she was one of those type of women that's like, she's slowly getting there in terms of like the feminist logic, but she hasn't fully grasped it yet. And she was one of those, I'm tired of like working under Whitey. Meanwhile, you know, she's not really doing anything but working under Whitey. So it's like, you know, shut the fuck up, bitch.
way too far, and they decided to target this woman at her home and whatnot, and obviously I find that to be unacceptable. That being said, this idea that this woman is the person that we need to hold up as a champion is ridiculous in every possible way. And by the way, this is where you can start hitting the dislike button, because I am not on board in any way, shape, or form with her fundraiser, because fundamentally the issue at hand is that she used a racial epithet against a child that was originally reported as a 5-year-old autistic child in order to maximize victimization. But I don't give a damn about that either. The kid could be 10 or whatever age you want to put him. It's still,
As long as he's under the age of 18, that is still a minor. And I still find that very indefensible. And I can understand why they went with the whole 5-year angle, because, you know, like you said, max sympathy. But it's like, still a minor. Still a minor.
inappropriate to do in this particular situation.
Like, this whole situation is about dragging everyone down, right? We've went from calling a child a nigger to not doing anything about the pedophile that was in a park to giving a woman money for throwing a racial epithet to infantilizing the child who is clearly not 5 years old. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? It's a purity. It's a purity spiral that reinforces the spiral of degeneracy. This whole thing, when you peel back all those so-called incentives and reasons and moral justifications as to why the woman should call a child a nigger, right? You start to look back and you see all that feces and disease swirling in the background. And you're like, yeah, but what about this stuff? And it's like, well, it's going towards a good cause. No, it's not. No, it's not.
And of course, it is not worthy of nearly $600,000. Now, of course, the excuses come pouring in from all different sides. We end up,
if feces is in your water, guys, are you going to drink it because the clean water's at the top but the feces at the bottom? Okay, then.
hearing about how, oh, well, the reason we got to raise this lady money is because black people ended up raising money for Carmelo Anthony, who murdered a white person. And you're not going to tell me that it's actually worse for you to raise money for a black killer rather than a white woman who used a racial epithet. And obviously, I'm not going to say that because that's ridiculous.
Because a lot of people seem to forget, like, again, these are the same people that said sympathy for Trump is what got Trump in the office. You know the Democrats are going to blast this shit day in and day out, day in and day out. And you know for a fact, because of what they're doing with this woman, Carmelo is not going to be held accountable. He's not. That shit's gone. It's gone. They threw that out of the water, and that's what they wanted. That's what they want. Because if he goes free, right, you can convince more white people that are tired of the Marxist bullshit to adopt more Marxist bullshit. But only if they benefit from it.
But that's the most obvious false dichotomy in the history of ever. Yeah, Carmelo Anthony and his supporters are gravely immoral. On this channel, I said repeatedly, and I've stuck by this probably earlier than anyone else, that the reason people are donating money to Carmelo Anthony, supporting Carmelo Anthony, manufacturing fake autopsy reports and fake police statements in order to defame Austin Metcalf, it's not because these people think Carmelo Anthony is innocent, it's because they know he's guilty and they like the fact that he killed a white person. And I liken it to the O.J. Simpson jury, who again admittedly said they knew OJ was guilty and they voted not guilty due to the fact that they wanted revenge for things like Rodney King.
Do you think that they're members of the jury that voted to acquit OJ because of Rodney King?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
How many of you think felt that way?
And it's a stupid logic. Like, this is the same fucking logic. Oh, we have to defend him because he's black. Oh, we have to defend her because she's white. It's the same fucking logic. It's ethno-nationalist defense. There is no moral defense in ethno-nationalism. There is none. There is no immoral. There is no moral defense in ethno-nationalism.
Oh, probably 90% of them.
90%?
Because what they're willing to do to the others, they're willing to do to you.
Yes.
That was payback.
Uh-huh.
You think that's right?
So yeah, let's be 100% clear about this. The people who donate money to Carmelo Anthony because he's black and he killed a white person and they like that are morally depraved human beings, and again, they are not fit for civilized society. Obviously, I have a major issue with that. I've made multiple different videos about the Carmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf
No
case,
race
but
nationalist
the fact
is fit
that
for
has
society.
nothing to do with what we're talking about, even if emotionally you feel like there's some connection. In reality, you are raising money for a woman who threw a racial epithet at a child who gives a damn about his age or his
The age
autism
don't really matter.
status, and it has no connection to the Metcalf situation. In fact, people have pointed out that Austin Metcalf's father's Give Send Go, or GoFundMe actually, has less money than both Carmelo Anthony and, of course, this woman's Give Send Go. Now, I point out,
Which, and that's another good point. Why are you giving more money to the woman who does not clearly bear meritocracy for saying a racial epithet versus the Metcalf family who has less money? My theory, and this is from the Almighty Lolly stream from like last night. You can watch that too if you want. He went over that the father from the Metcalf family was actually a leftist who was holding on to that white guilt bullshit, and even his mother and children are like going, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Lolly thinks that man got paid off to do that kind of shit. You can't even be genuine to be genuine. You got to be paid off to be genuine, quote unquote.
Out that this is actually not 100% dead on accurate, because we do have a separate GoFundMe for Austin Metcalf's mother that has raised money, and the combined total of both of those seem to be above where this woman and where Carmelo Anthony is at. But the fact is, as of right now, people are just raising money and they're saying it's based on white identity for somebody who's not the victim of a hoax, for somebody who actually did throw that epithet at that child, and by the way, is completely unapologetic about it. So as of right now, this Give Send Go is at $660,000, which is absurd. So when I see somebody like Shiloh getting $660,000,
so it's at 600,000. Now it's at $1 million. Why does she need $1 million? Interesting.
$60,000, which is absurd. So when I see somebody like Shiloh getting $660,000 just for calling a little black boy the N-word, all I can think of are those iconic words from Anna Kasparian that I play at the beginning of nearly every one of my videos, which are, "Give me the money."
Oh, give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
Yeah, give me the money instead. So we go to this woman's Give Send Go, which is entitled "Help Protect My Family."
Well, Sean, if you want the money, you have to say nigger over and over and over and over. You have to say it with a lot of white.
Hello, my name is.
And you probably have to say something along the lines of like Hitler was actually innocent, but we all know that he isn't.
Shiloh, and I've recently been put in a very dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at the park. I called the kid out for what he was. Another man who we recently found out has a history with law enforcement proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which has caused my family and myself great turmoil. My SSN has been leaked, my address, my...
How the fuck did your social security number get leaked? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. How did her social security number get leaked? Well, the left does have hackers. That is weird.
Phone number has been given out freely. My family members are being attacked. My eldest child may not be able to go back to school. Even where I exercise has been exposed. I am asking you for help to assist in protecting my family.
I mean, that's the price you fucking paid. You act like a nigger, you get treated like a nigger, right? So guess what? Your family gets treated like one. Monkey see, monkey do.
Family, I fear I must relocate. I have 2 small children who do not deserve this. We have been threatened to the extreme by
Actually, no, you do kind of deserve that. You do kind of deserve that.
people online. Anything will help. We cannot and will not live in fear. Thank you. So yeah, that's the description for her Give Send Go, which by the way, upon checking is at $660,000 at the time of me recording this video, not almost $600,000 like I thought earlier on, and it is still receiving a ton of different donations. And the key line that I want to focus on in this particular Give Send Go is actually right there, where she says, I called him out for what he was. So she is tripling down on her use of the N-word against this child. And for me, I'm sorry, I'm not giving this woman a dime for her tripling down on this racial epithet. Because regardless what you think about somebody stealing, and by the way, on this channel, I call out thieves over and over again. I call out softness on juvenile criminals over and over again. The fact is, the racial epithets are not kosher with me. They're not going to be a good thing that I'm going to take into account and say, you know what, this woman is deserving of the money that I earn on this channel. Or any
Because wouldn't this just prove that white people as a collective aren't strong? They're not the best. They really think about it.
If you out there earn, I find this to be ridiculous from top to bottom.
This is just white self-hate.
Like I said, with the Carmelo Anthony situation, where they're donating money to Carmelo Anthony because he's guilty, because they like that he killed a white person. In this particular case, people are shelling out the bucks because they like that she used the N-word. They like that she's unapologetic about it. And while you could say that you understand that and whatnot, the fact is, this does not make the country better in any way, shape, or form. It significantly makes it worse. And while I see a lot of people on the internet.com saying that this is proof that we are at the end of white guilt, I will just point out that nothing could be further from the truth, because if you were actually interested in fighting against white guilt, you would have donated all this money against all these women who were victimized by these viral Karen hoaxes that did nothing racist at all whatsoever. In reality, this is an example of moral depravity, an example of tribalism, and a shameful example of just that. Now, of course, again, a lot of people are going to say they donated.
But no, Sean, no. You missed the swing there, buddy. This is about white collectivism and how we need to band together as a white collective and seize the means of production so that we can rob from the bourgeois, the blacks, and the minorities, and centralize all that power and wealth and redistribute to the power of the state to benefit white people. That way we can actually usher ourselves into a peaceful utopia of white power. You just don't get it, Sean. You just don't get it. Come on now. Come on. You got to get it. Come on, man. Why you don't get it? Look at your skin color, man. Why you hate yourself? Why you got to be a race traitor, man? Why you betraying your race?
To the murderer, they donated to Carmelo Anthony. Who has called that out more than me on this particular channel? Absolutely no one. Who has pointed out that, again, that they supported Carmelo Anthony because they believe he's guilty, not because they think he's innocent? Me, again, repeatedly. And the reason why is because I have zero white guilt. You should have zero white guilt, but that doesn't mean you should take it the extra step further and then end up donating a crap ton of money to a woman because she used a racial epithet against a child. And again, I don't need to maximize the kid's victimization status. I don't need to make him a 5-year-old autistic kid. Until that is verified and proven to be true, I don't give a damn about that. I'll spot you the extra 5 years and say it's a 10-year-old, and it is still a wildly inappropriate thing to do. Now, for those of you who are curious about the allegations, or allegations as the super mayor would put it,
False allegations.
False allegations.
against the guy filming the video, I do want to point out that he did have a sexual assault case where he and another man, by the way, they are both over the age of 30. I believe one of them.
Sexual assault case against Rochester men dismissed. Let me pull that up real quick. Sexual assault case in Rochester. Yeah, it looks like this one right here. ABC 6 News, the Almest County Attorney's Office dismissed charges against Mohammed Hussein Umar and Sharmeki Baleh Umar in March 2025. Court documents state that the case was dismissed in the interest of justice. The fuck? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Instead of giving your money to this woman for saying the N-word, how about you give your money to someone that can, like, I don't know, get this motherfucker out of power? Hold on, what does this say? Pursuant to Rule 30.01 of Minnesota Rules of Criminal Procedure, the state of Minnesota hereby dismisses the complaint in the above entitled action dated February 7, 2022, charging the offense or offenses of criminal sexual conduct, third degree, penetration under 18, use, coercion, criminal sex condition, fifth degree, non consensual sexual contact for following reasons in the interest of this country's fucked. This country's fucked. This country's fucked. Close to $1 million can go to a woman saying nigger, but you can't send that money to a person that's like saying, hey, here's a corrupt judge using his powers. Her or he is using their powers, using the Marxist lens to free a pedophile or hephebophile from the long arm of the law. Oh my God. Oh. Okay, that's the same thing. Two Rochester men will appear in court May 5th, which was yesterday, on joint charges of third degree and fifth degree criminal sexual conduct after being accused of raping a 16-year-old after offering her a place to stay. Mohammed Hussein Omar, 42, and Shark Bell Omar, 30, may receive a joint trial for their identical charges. Okay, so has it actually been? So have they been convicted, or are they just like, because they're showing up in court yesterday? Penetration of underage of 18 uses coercion, fifth degree murder, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's still that. According to the court documents, the 16-year-old girl fled her foster care assignment in Farmington, Minnesota, and told law enforcement she was sexually assaulted by multiple men in Rochester area. So she's not going to get any justice because everybody's going to be focused on the white woman. Is there any other news on this? Give me that motherfucker's name. Muhammad Umar. That do we have one that's recent? Everything's like back in 2023 or 22. and that's something. Okay, so we don't have any reports on that. We're probably not going to get any reports on that in the longest. Yeah, we're definitely not going to get any reports on that.
Of them is over the age of 40, ended up luring a 16-year-old girl to their home with a promise of a place to stay, and they were accused at the time of raping this 16-year-old girl or forcibly penetrating or some such thing. Of course,
Verified.
that case was dismissed, and it was supposedly dismissed in the interest of justice, but
Which doesn't
apparently
make
this
any sense.
individual also has another criminal record or another issue with law enforcement where he allegedly assaulted a man and his 10-year-old daughter physically in a stairwell when they asked them to turn down the rap music that they were playing. Now, again, I put that out.
Jesus Christ. Hold on. Police arrest 3 alleged assault in Rochester. There. I mean, yeah, I hate rap music too, but damn, bro, you gotta sexually assault the daughter? Like, what the fuck? I mean, I do have some taste for rap music here and there, but it's like, come on now, really? The Rochester Police Department arrested 3 men after allegedly assaulting another man. Took place on Friday afternoon in the stairwell of Rochester apartment building. RPD said officers reported to an apartment building on the 1400 block of the 4th Avenue Southeast at approximately 4:45 p.m. on Friday, April 14th, for an alleged assault. RPD said the victim, a 30-year-old man, was walking with his 10-year-old daughter in the stairwell of the building playing gangster rap music to a speaker when they were confronted by the 3 men. The men asked the victim if he was a gangster, to which he replied, no. The 3 men then proceeded to allegedly assault the. Should have said, yeah, bro. They would have left your ass alone. Oh, man, that was a check. That was a check. It's like, hey, do you fight back? No. Good. The victim defended himself and was able to get away with his daughter and returned to their apartment shortly after the 3 men knocked on the apartment door trying to kick the door in. At one point, the victim opened the door and witnessed one of the suspects in the hallway allegedly pointing a handgun at him. The victim was able to provide police a description of the 3 suspects and a handgun. RPD located the suspects in another apartment in the building and were all placed under arrest. RPD executed a search warrant and located a handgun that matched the description given by the victim. Rob Muir, 34, of Rochester, was arrested and charged with second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon, second-degree riot, fifth-degree assault, disorderly conduct, and second-degree controlled substance, as RPD allegedly found 493 M30 Jesus fucking Christ, likely containing fentanyl. Hey guys, you know that fentanyl thing you guys are all talking about? Hey, you're shrouding this issue of fentanyl with a white woman saying nigger. I want to make that abundantly clear. The other 2 suspects, 42-year-old Muhammad Almar and 24-year-old Muhammad Ali, both of Rochester, were arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, second-degree riot, and fifth-degree assault. RPD said the victim of all the suspects did not previously know each other. Jesus Christ. Wow, that is amazing.
Out there in the name of full disclosure, because the last thing I want to get into related to this is, of course, the comment section and the give, send, go part of it. So I've given give, send, go credit in the Carmelo Anthony case for not taking down his give, send, go, because they are the platform where you can raise money for your criminal defense. And in fact, the CEO of Give, Send, Go has come under a lot of heat because obviously a huge portion of the comments under Carmelo Anthony's Give, Send, Go are anti-white hatred. And the reason for this this, like I said, is because many of Carmelo Anthony's supporters like that he killed a white kid. Again,
Right.
they don't believe him to be innocent. And of course, the CEO of Give Send Go had said repeatedly, that's a free speech issue. We support free speech, etc., etc. Now,
Right.
of course, fast forward to the Shiloh Hendrix case and her Give Send Go, and within about 24 hours, they decided to disable the comments due to the racial nature of the comments. Because again, people are supporting Shiloh not because she's being victimized or it's a viral Karen hoax a la Sarah Comrie or Amy Cooper, but because she did use the N-word, and a certain segment of the population likes that she threw a racial epithet at a child and that she's unapologetic about it. But the comments were completely disabled on both.
At Give Send Go, we recently disabled comments. That's why I can't find it, because they're spouting racial epithets on it. We recently disabled comments in the fundraising campaigns of Carmelo Anthony and Shiloh Hendrix due to the unacceptable volume of racist and derogatory remarks. At the time comments were turned off, both campaigns have raised approximately $500,000 with around 15,000 donors each. We remain committed in sharing all funds raised are delivered to campaign recipients as intended. However, we unequivocally condemn the hateful comments that sought to fuel division and harmful narratives. These remarks do not reflect Give Send Go's values and hope, compassion, and fairness. Our platform exists to support individuals and families in need. We uphold the principle that everyone deserves a fair process, not judgment by mob outrage. We took an action to stop the spread of divisive rhetoric while ensuring the campaigns continue to serve their intended purposes. We call for respectful dialogue and understanding, even in challenging situations. Thank you for supporting our mission and sharing help. Which is basically PR talk for saying, we're doing what the fuck we need to be doing as a business. Fuck you and fuck all these fucking race nationalists.
Give Send Go's after this, and people are calling out, and rightfully so, the CEO of Give Send Go as a hypocrite for doing so. Again, a lot of people point out that Carmelo Anthony's Give Send Go was up for nearly a month without any disabling of comments and whatnot, but less than a day of Shiloh's, and all of a sudden they do that, and then for the appearance of neutrality, they end up disabling the Carmelo Anthony comments. Again, this is
Well,
true.
that is
It
true.
is obvious evidence of a double standard, but the fact is, I actually heard that in a Twitter space, and I don't have the audio for you right now, that the CEO of Give Send Go alluded to what I actually thought was behind this, which is that credit card processors are looking for a way to pull their processing ability from all these different alternative platforms. And you guys know Give Send Go is the
What I don't like is anti-white comments you're allowing. What I don't like is you're doing this for attention and money. This is free speech, greed off murder. Yeah, I don't like them either, but there is this little thing called free speech that is actually important in our country. And you should have seen the comments written on the other campaigns where white people said, well, white people kill black people. Disgusting. Okay, do you have the proof of that? Like, I mean, if that's the case, like, wouldn't you do the same thing with Carmelo and them? Like, they're saying kill white people, and you're like, okay. But I don't condemn, but I condemn it. But it's like, and then you have people who are like, kill niggers, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna have to stop that. Like, buddy, if you want to stop the hate, you gotta have the balls and the dick length that everybody, all the black nationalists on the left side and all the white nationalists on the right side. You gotta have that dick length. You ain't got that dick length. What is your opinion of Actual Justice Warrior? He's fair on a lot of his reports, and he's been rather consistent as far as I'm concerned. I know I did a short on his take on I think it was the city bike carrier. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember the details on that one, but I think that one. I said something about his take being on that one being kind of flaky. I'm not entirely sure. I have to look at that short, but yeah, Actual Justice Warrior is not that bad. He's very fair. He is quite aware in terms of what woke actually is in terms of philosophical, which is basically Marxism. So he doesn't use the word out of context as a code where you don't understand the underlying thing of what the fuck woke is. But he knows what the fuck woke is. So yeah, he's not that bad of a content creator. If you want to subscribe to him, I would subscribe to him.
From all these different alternative platforms. And you guys know Give Send Go is the non-woke alternative to GoFundMe. And the fact is that credit card processors don't give a damn at all whatsoever about anti-white hatred. So all of those comments under the Carmelo Anthony Give Send Go never actually led to the threat of consequences against the company. So it was perfectly fine in the mind of the CEO to leave that up for freedom of speech, because he had no issue with the comments related to the Kyle Rittenhouse case or related to the Daniel Penny case. Again, Give Send Go being the platform where money was raised for that. However, they do hate the idea of anti-black racism. So within one day, I am sure he was contacted by Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover to tell him, hey, if you don't cut these comments out, we need to pull the credit cards for this. And therefore, in order to save both Give Send Go's, or in order to save Shiloh's Give Send Go, I think
he had to come out with that comment. So, okay, now I get it. So if he didn't come out speaking like that, then the credit card companies would have actually like took both their fucking money. But then the people spreading these narratives, they wouldn't come to the conclusions that the credit card companies are the ones that, that has all the control and power and pull. They would say, "Oh, it's anti-white rhetoric. Give Send Go is anti-white." And then if he didn't do it, then the people on the left would say, "Oh, Give Send Go is anti-black and it's pro-white." So he had to do it. So even if the comments are hypocritical, the big message is both parties are getting the money. So yeah, I would say that's fair.
think this is the reason why he decided to pull the comments from both sections. Now again, it is a double standard, it is ridiculous and absurd, but I think the double standard is actually being held by the credit card processors rather than Give Send Go, who again, I believe left to their own devices would leave the fundraiser up completely unchanged and allow the comments, which by the way are quite nasty on both fundraisers, to go unchallenged. Now with all that being said, with all that information out there, my overall takeaway on this particular issue is no, absolutely not. I am not on board, and neither should you be. The fact is, yes, the people behind the Carmelo Anthony fundraiser, which by the way has nothing to do with this, are morally depraved. The people supporting it, the people cheering it on because they like the fact that a black teenager murdered a white teenager, those people are disgusting in every possible way. And part of the thing that makes them so disgusting is that they are so blinded by tribalism that they're willing to support immoral behavior on the scale of murder in order to make it seem like their side is winning. Now you flip it, and again, the scale is not nearly as bad. We have an instance where we're talking about somebody who used a mean word. It's inappropriate to do so, but you have the same kind of nasty tribalism coming out in support of her, and I find that to be disgusting, especially considering that there are still people like Amy Cooper and Sarah Comrie that have problems getting a job, and they were actually defamed in those particular cases because in reality, they didn't do anything racial. They just happened to be a white person who got into a regular, ordinary argument with a
and yet somehow they didn't get any money.
black person. In one instance, the pregnant physician's assistant ended up having a city bike stolen from her by 4 black teenagers, and yet she was framed as the thief. She was framed as the perpetrator, and she was defamed in this famous clip from Emma Vigeland as drunk, evil, white, and racist, even though, again, she was pregnant coming off of a shift as a physician's assistant.
She's in work clothes, so my first thought was, is she drunk? Like, is she, I don't know, but she just seemed really out of it, and she's straight up racist, totally. But there was like, she wasn't really making a ton of sense, which was bizarre. And
keep in mind, the people just liking this video, they don't have a problem with this woman. They'll say they do, but then they'll look at what she's doing and say that's acceptable.
This is my bike. Just go to the other bike stand, the little docking station, and get your own. It's not that difficult, but yeah, I mean, the white woman fake crying thing, I could do it too, but and then you just turn it off.
Sarah Comrie is somebody who deserves the
John.
$660,000 that Shiloh has raised, because it was so absurd to make the claim that a pregnant 36-year-old physician's assistant walked up to black teenagers to steal their bike, something that has never happened in the history of the country, and yet she didn't get anywhere near this kind of payday, because again, it's not actually about framing a white person or harming a white person or doxing a white person in order to forward a
Exactly,
racial agenda.
because if it was about that, then the payout would be consistent, but it's not consistent. They value the ability to call someone a nigger more than the fact that people are being under threat. It's not about my family is under attack, my children are going through things. Because if it was, a lot of these white people who are clearly been framed under these notions of being racist and not, they would have received the same amount of money. But they're not receiving the same amount of money. They're receiving less money. Metcalf's family has received less money. It is about white collectivism. It is about white people accepting the fact that despite the fact that they hate Karl Marx, what he has said is true. And that they need to seize this means of production. And they need to go against they need to band together as a proletariat, as a collective, to go against the bourgeois, which is the Jew, in order for them to take down the bourgeois, which is the Jewish capitalist society, and to usher the white society into a white utopia of national socialism. That's what these people are. They are national socialists. They can sit here and deny that no, they're not national socialists. No, they're not neo-Nazis. No, they're not racist. No, they don't think Hitler's based. They can say it as much as they fucking want. And they can sit there and say that they will not under no circumstances justify pedophilia. But when you look at the rhetoric that they're constantly pushing, and you look at the other comments, it is always getting to the point of we need to appropriate what the left has instituted that is clearly Marx based. It is clearly white supremacist based. It is clearly Hitler based. And we need to take that and appropriate it for ourselves and flip it on its head. This is one big, giant white nationalist campaign. It is a recruitment. That is what all this mess is. It's always been like that. And the more depravity you keep promoting, right, the more incentive there is for ethno-nationalism.
This is about people getting tribal and wanting to celebrate the fact that this lady said the N-word and was unapologetic about it. Amy Cooper, same situation. She got cornered in a park by somebody who was threatening to take her dog. Again, according to his own Facebook post, he ends up getting a National Geographic show called Extraordinary Bird Watcher or some such nonsense, and she still, years later, was finding it impossible to find work. She deserves this kind of money, not Shiloh. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts about this particular case. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content.
Yeah, like clearly, oh, hold on, let me actually
follow me on the social medias. Support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about some absurd tribalism from a group of white people on the internet.com. Till next time.
And thank you. But yeah, like what he said is true. Like, and just to add like a political lens or political analysis to it, like a lot of these comments do kind of come off as white collectivism. This chick has not stabbed a child in the heart because it was raining. Let her walk and get paid. Wait, what? This chick has not stabbed a child in the heart because it was raining. Was it raining at that time? Okay, that comment doesn't make any sense. With all the anti-white propaganda and double standards towards whites, I just feel apathy. No, you're just closing off yourself and you're in a fucking echo chamber. Gets pissed because the lady says N-word once, then proceeds to say it 112 times. Well, that's hyperbolic. He didn't say it 112 times, but I understand what you mean. Let's say what the internet has to say about this. 600,000K, lol. I don't care what she said. I'm just tired of shit for being white. They're like, fucking move. Like seriously, if you guys are the proud Aryan race that you proclaim to be, like for crying out loud, why not just get the fuck out of here? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like move to any fucking country in Europe. Go to the UK. I'm pretty sure it's nice over there. You know? Go over there, express your freedom of speech and get locked up. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it's more ridiculous how it was fine to burn down buildings and literally mud. Mud. Why are you censoring yourself for saying murder? I swear to God. Lolly said, well, Lolly said is right. These people need to stop self-censoring themselves. Because there's really no reason for you to self-censor yourself if you really think about it. If you can just make an alt account, and keep in mind, a lot of these comments are based on, because there's no like profile picture shit. Like this one's an alt account. Like anything that doesn't have a profile picture is more likely. You can say it, just say it on an alt account. But they want to live in this reality where it's like, no, I have to be able to say it, and nothing under no circumstances should be able to happen. Even if it went down to a fight, like a fist fight. Like they don't even want to get punched in the face for saying. Let's see. Calling it heresy as her social security number is leaked and she's getting followed at home is an insane take, Sean. Okay, first of all, is there proof that her social security number got leaked? Like, how did her social security number get leaked? Like, again, this is Agitprop. This is Agitprop. This is clearly Agitprop. How did her social security number even get leaked? Also, if that is the case, like, hold on, can you actually, let me look that up. Requires a valid reason and proper document. Yeah, so she can change her social security number. It doesn't even give to, that doesn't mean anything. She can literally change it. And then it can easily be cross-referenced. Yeah, this is not even an argument. It's not even an argument. How did her social security? Also, if that is the case, you can easily get it changed. What is that going to do if people have her social security number? Like, think, Mark, think, like you people do not think at all. And then you got a motherfucker in here saying Sean is Jewish. I am right to say that these motherfuckers are part of the white collective. They're into pedophilia. They're accepting the fact that Karl Marx, despite the fact him being a Jew, he was right on the things that he said what needed to be done, and they're appropriating. So it is fair to say that the people disliking Sean's video are white nationalists and pedophiles. At least she didn't get paid for killing someone It's mighty white of her. And Lolly's right. Like, a lot of these people don't have an identity. Like, notice how they don't say like Nordic or Irish or Scottish or Viking. It's not based on some type of culture. It's based on a skin color. They don't have an identity. And it's like what Lolly said. Because they don't have an identity, the government is giving them an identity and saying, because you were fearful for your life, because you are being hunted down for the color of your skin, this is your identity. Your skin color is your identity, but it is not your identity. But more than likely, these people don't have a history of their own fucking genetics. And they don't understand where the fuck they came from. Because more than likely, if you really look back, and even they did, if you look back in their history, their culture would look at them today and go, you're a fucking pussy. You're a fucking pansy. Get the fuck away from me. You're not us. Get out of here. You're the inferior form of us. Every fucking time. Because if it's happening on the black side, it can definitely happen on the white side. Then they're saying like the child probably gets called this 37 times a day by its mom. That's very dehumanizing. Yeah, these people are white nationalists. You cannot apologize to reprobates. You're right, and we can't apologize to you either, which is why both of you need to be destroyed. What is? Oh wait, I already answered. It's not about the money; it's about the message. It's not about the game; it's about the message. It's not about the show; it's about the message. Same thing. They're using the same rhetoric as the Marxists on the left. They're tired of losing, so they're appropriating the exact same tactics that the left has been using this entire time to win. But it's not because they're doing something that keeps falling over. It's the fact that they're not doing anything at all. Matter of fact, I even wrote everything in my synopsis within my description. I said the far left has always appropriated the system of white supremacy and flipped it on its head for blacks, minorities, and women. This structure has not only facilitated the advancement of the minority to condemn the majority, but its structure is fueled with Marxism, a philosophy that justifies having sex with children, as you have all seen from queer theory and small attempts to push sexual freedom in schools for children. The right has become tired, not because everything they do changes nothing. The right has become tired because they have not done a damn thing except for whining and crying and not participating in culture to influence the next generation to become good. There is no incentive to become good, but there's always an incentive to do evil. It is fair to say that the far right is adopting white supremacy. It is fair to say the far right is also will condone pedophilia. If we do not put a stop to both of these sides, the justification for all these immoral acts will always be because the other side is doing it, why not us? If the other side is doing it, why ought us? Why should we not do it? If they're into having sex with children, why shouldn't they have sex with children? If they're in using the power of the state to amass wealth for a particular race, why can't we? If they're able to do this, why can't we? If they're able to do this, why can't we? It's the same side that it's the same logic that the left in terms of like black Marxists, socialists, and communists are using. If the whitey can do this, why can't I? If whitey can do this, why can't I? If whitey can do this, why can't I? If whitey can do this, why can't I? And they're both doing the exact same thing. And since they're both doing the exact same thing, they're both perpetuating the spiral over and over and over and over and over. And yes, it is fair to say that these people are white nationalists. It is fair to say that the people are mass disliking Sean's video over this dumb bitch, and I'm going to call her a dumb bitch because that's what she is, a dumb bitch. Well, actually, no, she's not a dumb bitch. She's a very smart bitch because she conned your fucking ass out of $1 million. And that's definitely not going to go towards the white collective. It's going to go toward her white ass. But yeah, that's just yeah. This whole thing is stupid. This whole thing is stupid. Like Jesus Christ. Does hate Jewish people? I mean, considering the people who's around, yeah, you would have to hate Jewish people. That's a requirement, motherfucker. You can't go against that. Did it break? Wait, Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer? Hold on, let me look at that. $23 million fucking views. God damn. Let me make sure. Actually, I'm going to mute this because I'm not entirely sure. Hold on, wait.
I was just fixing some leaks.
Just a heads up, if it's playing some copyrighted music, I'm going to mute it.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
Oh, that's why you came by?
Just go get me my checks.
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
Muting. All right, guys, gotta mute it. He's lifting weights. He's got a six-pack. Police is bullying people. Yeah, this looks like Grand Theft Auto, man. He's got a white trash wife. Yeah, this is definitely Grand Theft Auto. Yep. This is definitely Grand Theft Auto. I think white or Hispanic. Huh. Not gonna lie, it actually looks good. I'm not gonna spend $100 on this. That's for damn sure. Booty. That female doesn't look like a female. She's supposed to look like a man. What's going on here? Hold on, wait, go back. But yeah, that's nice, everything. Jesus Christ, that face. He has to be like, not Somalian. Shit, what's that one country? He looks, damn, I can't think of the country. Like, when I see that face, like, I just think of that country. I forgot what it was. And another thing I've noticed, because I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. I think a lot of people would put $100 on this. Because think about it. We've been through what 3-4 years of anti-woke of woke content, of them charging you $70 for woke content, and now all of a sudden they're trying to justify spending, like, you know, you spending $80 to $100 on a video game. This shit's gonna fly off the shelves. And you want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because they have starved the gaming community for this entire time. They have starved the gaming community to the point to where if a game is labeled $100 or $80, people are going to buy it. They know for a fact that it's not worth $100 to $80 to $100. They know that. But they're willing to put the money on it not because it's worth it, but because they're getting the things that they've been bitching and complaining about this entire time. They're getting women who now look like women. They're now getting men who look like there are now men, competent men that actually take lead. They're getting the thing that they have been complaining for all these fucking years. And instead of going, now, wait a minute, you could have actually done this a long time ago, right? But you didn't. You did this after Nintendo, Sony, and now Microsoft is now pushing the $80 increase in console prices increase. It is what Lolly said this entire time. It is not about ideology. It is about money. Yes, the ideology is there, but it has always been about money. If you take a look at the money and look at where the money is going, like that whole thing with I think it's Shiloh Hendrix case, it has nothing to do with principle. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's in trouble. It has nothing to do with the fact that her family's in danger. It has everything to do with the fact no one even knows what her fucking family looks like. And these people are acting like they cannot defend themselves. They've seen Kyle Rittenhouse, and they're not inspired to defend themselves. But at the same time, they're inspired to collectivize and flee in terms of white flight. It has nothing to do with principle. It has everything to do with money. It has always been about money. Because if it was not about money, the people donating to Kyle Rittenhouse, he would have had more than what that bitch got. A lot of people who were falsely accused of racism would have got more than what this bitch got. But this bitch got more than everybody else who has actually been afflicted by this Marxist socialist bullcrap. It has been about money. It has always been about money. So, yeah. But, yeah, it looks good, but I'm not spending money on this. I'm not spending money on this. I understand other people are going to spend money on this because, look, the women look like women and you can fap off to it. Yeah. But I'm going to say a big no to this because they could have easily done this when the game was $70. Just saying. Just saying. What you're seeing here is what they could have done 4 years ago. And look at this. All this heterosexual normativity. You weren't getting this from the last 4 fucking years, guys. Now all of a sudden you are. I'm going to dislike the video. I'm going to leave this in the comments. You starved the gaming community with woke propaganda only to then release this $100 plus garbage that is not worth 100 plus with things people have been asking for the past 4 years. Yeah. I'm just going to leave that there. And with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and call this a day, guys. I'm going to give some. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, I honestly feel like this country's fucked. I mean, this shit's not going to end unless we stomp these motherfuckers into the ground. And in order for us to stomp these motherfuckers in the ground, we're going to have to like up our ante on this and push back on them as much as possible. So, yeah. Leave a like, leave a dislike, leave a comment when I end. If you like the content, if you don't, express why not. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Catch you guys later.